Hello guys, welcome to a new video on the channel. In this video we'll be looking at the importance of the overnight profile. If you've ever been confused regarding market profile, we want to make you the promise that these sort of videos will be easily digestible and things we can easily discuss amongst ourselves. If you join us in our Discord, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and keep that bell turned on. I want to let you guys know the importance of the overnight is that you want to have it separated from your regular trading hour profile. The regular trading hour is based in the pit session times of your instruments. In this case, I'm going to be using the ZN or the 10-year note contract. The pit times would be 8:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So anything prior to that from the 6 p.m. Eastern open of Globex will become our overnight profile, shaded in gray, where our regular trading hours are in white. The main things you want to look for are the lows, the highs, the mid, and in this case is also the point of control. Well, let's look at a different one. So this low, this high, this point of control, and the mid. Those are the 4 levels you need off of the overnight profile. Simple. You also want to see how the overnight profile sort of developed and where a majority of the TPOs occurred, either above or below that midpoint. And so in this instance, we can see that a majority of buying occurred above. And relative to our previous day, both the highs and the lows are taking out. And that kind of shows us an indecision coming into the open. That's why when you look into the overnight, you want to look to see if there was follow through related to the previous day, which I think in this instance there was. This was sort of bounced. This was ended up being sort of bounced. You see in this day it sold, and we continued that selling after building out a few as we look to open. Off of this, we sold in, opened up, bounced out. This one's opening up, sold, came back up, just another bounce. And as we said before, markets go from bounce, imbalance, back to bounce, into another imbalance. We want to look to see as well the sort of shapes that occurred. This is not really the P shape that we'll look at. I would say this is more of a P shape where we open up, go off, cutting through highs, building out profile TPOs above and leaving a tail below. That would be a P, and the opposite would be a B, where you'd open, go down, build out profiles or TPOs below, leaving a tail above. If you open up the next day near the low, where that's the majority of TPOs ended off on the overnight on a B profile, any early breaks below that chunk you want to be wary of. And conversely, if you were looking at a P, any breaks above you might be wary of. Like in this instance, going above, be wary, coming back in. And you want to note that the important part from the overnights is where we're going to start to open. And so when we look on these past profiles, our closings of the overnight is our real red triangle, and our green box on our RTH profiles is our open. So when you see this come in, you have about, I think in most cases you want to look 30 minutes prior to where you might have possibly looked to open relative to the previous profile. And what you can do as well is you can combine these two to get a better sense of how things are developing into your trading session. We're going to use this day, for instance. So we close off coming from all this down movement. We open up, come up, try to test into I'm sorry, let me come and try and test into the levels we have set. In this instance, we come into our mid and VPOC, TPO POC. Can't quite push through it all, especially this chunk of TPOs here. We come down, come through our lows, and that for most scalpers would be the initial bounce set out, and that gives you most of your trading opportunities. If you are scalping, is usually the first hour. And then when you want to be more of a profile developed trader, you would wait for the initial balance to set, or even the opening range, depending on what you want to look at. You could look at the first 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 5 minutes to give you a quicker sense of how things are going as far as the open. And so just to reiterate the important thoughts when planning for your coming sessions, is you want to look at the previous day's information of value, how value has been migrating, the size of the value highs, value lows, the high of the profile, the low of the profile, our point of controls, the 50% of that profile, the shape, and then you look into the overnight to see what we spoke on, which would be the high of the overnight, the low of the overnight, the mid, and then also the points of control, as well as on what side of the point of control or the mid, what side of the mid most of the TPOs occurred. We could say in this instance, most of it occurred on the highs, and so they might be held as trapped traders. And then we want to monitor where we open, and you give it about, again, the opening range of 5, 10, or 30 minutes to feel out where, relative to where we're opening, how it's moving compared to the plan you might have set out, and whether your plan is starting to get confirmed or invalidated. We'll go into future videos on trading out the rest of the profile periods outside of just the initial bounce. In upcoming videos, we'll look as well to see setups that you can use regarding this information. So please keep your notification bells on for that, and we'll see you next time.